welcome, great men and women, to another episode of Breaking Down the Divide. And this is brought to you by Divine Royalty Entertainment, with wisdom is wealth and wealth is wisdom. Also brought to you by Divided Nation Unity Campaign, where we focus on unity, ownership, and a global identity. This has been one exciting ride, and I hope you are enjoying this as much as I am. And so this month is flying by. This is close to the end of May, and we are just moving very fast. I don't know about you. I think the year is just, moving. To me, man, it was just January. And so now we are going into June. That means that half of the year is gone. So if you're anything like me, you like to get things done, you like to be productive, you're asking, man, where'd the time go? So, but it's good. It's all good. And this is actually good because we are fastly approaching this powerful move. And this move is going to just take us once again to the highest level. I know a lot of productive people out there, man. I'm seeing people doing some powerful things in this time, in this season, to just collaborate with what's happening in our community. So for those people, people that starting their businesses, those people that going back to school, getting your degree, for those people who are just inspiring and motivating their family members to want more, to do more, to unify. Keep up the great work. And once again, I hear a lot of great reviews from Breaking Down the Divide, and as we breaking down the book Divided Nation, but also breaking down the divide in our country, and I hope we are doing the same in our families, in our neighborhoods, in our communities, our city, our state. And so let's just keep doing that. Let's keep focusing on that. Of course, Tracy Knox sends her best, and this is a podcast that I'm doing solo, but of course you can also catch our podcast that we do together, and we're going to continue to break down the book Divided Nation. Divided Nation has 63 pictures, what I call pictures that is chapters to you. So we have a lot to cover. As we anticipate producing the movie and getting everything lined up for that, talking to investors, talking to people who just like the whole concept. They like the whole Divided Nation Unity campaign. They like the entire soundtrack. They like the idea of us building a franchise. This is not just a movie. This is not just a book and not just a soundtrack, but we have a part 1, part 2, and part 3. And, people like it. They getting on board. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the churches and pastors getting on board, and business men and women getting on board with this entire project. So with that said, once again, we're coming from the great Dream Launch Studio, where Patrick O'Neill is doing this thing on the highest level. Great young man, and Divine Royalty Entertainment and Dream Launch Studio hooked up to do this project, and I think it's actually a match made in heaven. So I always want to give him his shout out, and definitely celebrate his powerful ownership and unity and global identity. So we're going to move to our next picture. Last week we talked about picture 10 Let's Dance, and hopefully, hopefully, I motivate you and inspire you not to devour our next leader because we're going to discover some weaknesses and some mistakes. Please understand, we're not saying that we're going to tolerate uh, any type of abuse or any type of, how can I put it, uh, being taken advantage of. We're not focused on that. And I'm not even thinking on that level. I'm not thinking that he or she will come on on this particular platform to take advantage. I'm thinking idealistically, and I'm speaking uh, from an optimistic point of view that this leader is going to be ready to do the work that we need to go to the next level. But in all fairness, we have to also be prepared for this person to be human, for this person to have weaknesses, and we don't want to throw this person away. So I think you got enough for that. Um, so now we're going to look at picture 11. And picture 11 entitled First Degree. And how is this picture going to help us get ready for our great move? That's what we're going to focus on at this point. For the ones who read Divided Nation, you know that this picture deals with some common people, some everyday people. They're not politicians. They are not entertainers. They just regular people. Keith and T, boyfriends and girlfriends. We have Tar and Kevin. They run in the streets and doing their thing in the street. And then we have Miss Loretta. She is a administrator in the Atlanta school system. Okay. So I wanted to point out, while I was writing this book, I wanted to point out that when we are focusing on our next move and focusing going to another level, it is going to affect the common person. These are the individuals that's going to be affected the most. And Raymond's decision is going to affect school teacher, boyfriends and girlfriends, also individuals who actually are getting engaged for the first time. So when this happens, please don't expect, lightning to go across the sky or thunder to be heard. People are going to be going about their everyday business. People are going to be going to school. People are going to be engaged in relationship. People are going to be getting married. People are going to go to work and try to get promotion. So it's going to be on an everyday demonstration. Okay? So with that said, sometimes we expect this lightning to be flashing, some special things, and when that don't happen, we say, oh, it's nothing going on. And it actually can be going on right under your nose. And so we don't want to miss it because we don't see all this bells and whistles, right? Yeah, you're still going to have to go to work. You're still going to have to pay your bills. Yeah, you're still going to be interacting with your significant others, and you're still going to be having some disagreements, and you're still going to be having some agreements. So please, don't look for the thunder and lightning when actually the thunder and lightning is your everyday occurrence, your everyday activity. So with that said, boyfriends and girlfriends are going to be still taking place. This move is going to affect relationships. This move is going to affect relationship because you are going to have to grow together during this time. If you are with someone who is going to want things to stay the same, things to be normal for that matter, I think y'all gonna have some challenges. Now, relationships always come with a challenge, but I think it's gonna be a new challenge for you because in relationships, of course, we're gonna be talking about moving together, progressing together, having the same expectations and moving forward. So you may have some challenges if you are expecting more out of African American community, but your partner is not, right? You want to achieve and you want to accomplish, but your partner is not. You're gonna that's going to be a situation right there. But it also speaks of the relationship that we're going to have with the next leader that's coming aboard. The next leader that's going to take a position to help us to move forward. Okay? And so get ready for that. Get ready to engage in relationship with this particular leader, politically and socially. Not to say we're always going to agree. Not to say everything is always going to be perfect. But we are saying that we're looking for more. Okay? I better put this in parentheses. You may be outgrowing the person you're with right now because you want more and they want to stay where they are. And I think politically, this is going to be a challenge for us. There will be people who says, hey, let's just stay where we are. Let's not rock the boat. Let's be convenient, be comfortable. Okay, back in the 70s maybe even the 80s. But right now, you know that the time is right for us to go to the next level. And so that's a hunger in you and that's a thirst in you that says, hey, let's go to the next level. So if you with somebody that said, nah, we good, we cool where we are, I think that's going to be a challenge. Okay? So, on the other hand, we have two young men that's in the streets. These young men are doing their thing in the streets and, of course, breaking law, doing their thing. Our challenge in this season is being able to take our young men and women that's in the streets and help them also get ready. So this is why I like these programs, these outreach programs that goes beyond the comfort zone and reach out to men and women in the streets who may be having challenges, who may have habits or may have addictions or may just be used to doing negative and creating havoc. I like these programs because these programs are saying, if we are going to grow as a community, we cannot leave no one behind. We can't even leave the ones that have these challenges and then the street A, B, C, and D. Matter of fact, I'm going to say this, and watch out for this. I'm going to say that this summer may be one of the least violent summers in the history of the African American community. I'm going on record to say that. So write this down. And this is why. When we start focusing on unity, you'd be surprised of the people start coming together in the value and the self-esteem of a community start increasing. Value and self-esteem start increasing, and so people now stop hurting one another. I wrote a quote this morning, and I put it on Instagram. So for you that don't know, I put quotes every day, about 4 quotes a day on Instagram, a little picture as well. And I focus on, and I talked about, actually I wrote about the Divide Nation Unity Campaign African American Survival Kit. Okay? Survival Kit, which means when we wake up in the morning, one of the quotes was, when we wake up in the morning, we are happy to get a gift of another chance. that we're going to do it again. We get a chance to take nothing and make something out of it. If the African American community can't do anything else, we know how to survive. We know how to make it. Okay. So with that said, another quote, I think it was my last quote I made was, we did not survive everything we've been through just to turn around and kill one another. I mean, come on, what sense would that make? We made it through the slave ship, made it through the rejection of the Africans who sold our people into slavery. They made it through the slave ships, then went on the plantation, made it through that, made it through Jim Crow, right? Made it through the segregation era, made it through all this, the civil rights movement back in the 60s. And now we're going to come here. And by the way, we are making it, even though police shootings and the police are shooting unarmed men and hurting and killing unarmed women. But guess what? You think we've been through all that just to self-destruct? To turn on one another? Please understand this. The more we get into breaking down the divide, you're going to discover the secret of this particular book and of this particular campaign. My focus is really to help us to appreciate one another. Let's put our energy let's put our energy and our focus on helping each other, loving each other, building each other. And I believe that as we do this, you're going to see the whole community, even our young men in the streets, even our young women in the streets, you're going to see that whole entire attitude change, the whole self-esteem change. You're going to see a behavior in the conduct. You're going to see a behavior in the conduct that's going to be pleasantly surprising. Now, I know some killers. I know some guys, they don't play. I know some gang leaders, they don't play. But guess what? They respect me to the utmost. And when they're around me, they conduct themselves on the highest level because of what? Because I come with a level of respect and a level of expectation out of them, right? And guess what? And they are being taught even now what to do for the people that listen to them, for the people that hear them. They are being taught, being trained, and being aware that something is happening in our community, and they are going to participate in a positive behavior, a positive reaction, a positive response and responsibility, right? Why? Because of unity. I'm going to say this. Remember this, because I'm probably going to say it again. And when I say it again, you're going to know what I mean. If you take care of division, unity will take care of itself. Just remove division in the differences, and unity is going to do what it do. And guess what unity do? Bring people together. That's the nature of unity, bringing people together. So when we deal with the divide that's in our community, the divide that's inside of our homes, inside of our neighborhoods, in the cities that we're in, whether we're in the projects or whether we in the suburbs, when we deal with that divide, guess what? Unity is going to take care of itself. The strangest thing, and I was having this conversation, I made that comment, and the individual was like, wow, I never thought of that. Can you expound some more? I said, well, if you don't get, I'm gonna say this, if you don't get it, you probably won't get it. If you don't get this example. A man and woman been together for 20, 30 years. So they have a whole lot in common. But they go to court and they get a divorce. And the divorce is not based on the things that they have in common. They can have 20 things in common. But they're going to get a divorce based on something they call irreconcilable differences. Irreconcilable differences because of why? They're focusing on the difference versus focusing on what keeps them together or what kept them together for 20 years. So if they just remove those differences, unity going to keep them together. And so all we have to do is focus on our difference in the community. Right? Remove those differences and watch unity do its thing. So in the process of coming together, in the process of ownership and global identity, we can't forget our young men and women that's in the streets. We can't forget them. By the way, let me say this, because who knows? Who knows that they may have something to contribute to our unity. They may have something to contribute to what? Our ownership and global identity. Back to not throwing people away because they have skeleton in their closet or because they have weaknesses, right? All right. So also we have this this young lady named Loretta in this particular picture. And she works for the Atlanta school system. And she's been working for a while. She's looking for a promotion, but her supervisor is trying to stop her from getting this promotion, even though she's qualified for it. Okay. And two things I'm gonna say, then we have to get ready to go. One is Loretta represents the people in the school system. The school system, particularly the African-American school system, have to get ready to change, have to be part of this change, have to be part of this unity campaign, because we have to come up with a different system of teaching our students, whether they are in grade school or whether they are in high school or whether they are in college. We have to come up with a different system. And the reason why, because I think that our school system prepare us to be, how can I put it, slave laborers. They want us to work for them, the system, versus I'm going to train you to fulfill your purpose. I'm going to train you to have your own business. And even if you work for me for a while, the end objective is to always for you to have your own business. I'm going to say this for Black Wall Street. In remembrance of Black Wall Street, excuse me, every family, every African-American family should have their own business. Now, you may not know what business to get involved in, and I think this is where the research come in at. Now, when I say the whole family, sometimes you got to hook up with your cousins, with your nieces and nephew, and y'all come together and create a business. But there should be a stream of income that say that this is our business, this is our money that comes from our ideas, and when we focus on having and achieving and accomplishing things that we want to achieve and accomplish, it's not tied to a system that's only going to have you working all your life and then you die with nothing to show for it. Okay? So, Loretta is trying to get a promotion, and this person is trying to undermine her accomplishments or achievements in her promotion. And watch this, this person happened to be African American. Okay? African American dude is stopping her from achieving and accomplishing the things that she want to achieve and accomplish. And I have to warn you, there will be people that look like you, that look like us, that's still going to try to stop us from moving forward. So this is why I really don't focus on the mainstream or focus on whites and the white. I don't got time for that. Our problem have always been us. Because guess what? Once we get ourselves together, once we come together, once we focus on ownership, and once we focus on developing a brand of a global identity, we unstoppable. We unstoppable. We already unstoppable. I'm telling you, what we do, we survive. But once we start focusing and concentrating on unity, global identity, guess what? We're going to do more than survive. We're going to thrive. We're going to be successful. And we're going to be unstoppable. Not just in this nation, but it's in this entire world. And I think it's time for that. So don't be surprised if somebody that looks like you try to stop you. Don't be surprised. And don't be discouraged. So what we're going to do, once again, we're going to survive. We're going to continue to move forward. And it's not going to take us by surprise, right? And we're gonna deal with them. I'm gonna show you how to deal with them directly. But at this point, I need you to stay focused. I don't need you to be so shocked and say, "Wow, I can't believe this." No, stay focused, because sad to say, there are people who look like us that don't want us to achieve and don't want us to accomplish. Okay. So with that said, also we need to get them in check, because once again, we don't want to leave nobody behind. They are still part of us. They just need to be. They just need to be taught. They just need to be corrected, and they just need to know that we can't be stopped. A, B, C, and D. All right. So look, that's all the time we have for today. I want you to, when you can, go to DivineRoyaltyEntertainment.com. Also, follow us on Facebook and follow us on the Instagram. And check out some of the quotes that I put on Instagram each day. Also, for all the mothers out there, continue to celebrate you. And if you haven't looked up Black Wall Street and did a research, I encourage you to do so, to see that history of ownership. And guess what? We're going to get it back. We're getting it back. Even now, I heard that the second, or the new Wall Street, Black Wall Street, is being built. So maybe we're going to get in contact with this young man who is doing that, who's in charge of that, and get him on the show and get him talking about it. But I want you to understand that this is our time. This is our season. Do not be discouraged by what you see and what you hear. And even if you hear negative things, if you still see violence or still see something that you don't like and we don't tolerate, we don't get discouraged. We understand that we're operating on the highest level, and we're moving forward, and we're focused on that reality. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to get ready to go to the next level. I want you to get ready to embrace your unity, ownership, and global identity. I want you to get ready to be everything that you can be in this time and in this season. You have greatness inside of you. You have a great potential, and you're going to fulfill your purpose, and you're going to fulfill your destiny, and we're going to do it together. So I am Naco, and it's been my pleasure to break down the divide with you. And I look forward to our next episode of Breaking Down the Divide, coming from Dream Launch Studio, with Patrick O'Neill.